Hello and welcome to the Star Wars Show, the best place for below average Star Wars. I'm your host Peter and I'm joined today again by our other host Ian. Ian, how you doing, buddy? You alright?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good. It's been a fun time being a Star Wars fan, shall we say. Lots of Mandalorian to talk about, lots of TV spots to talk about.
Bloody too many.
Yeah, we're almost getting overwhelmed by TV spots.
Definitely.
But today we're going to focus on the Mandalorian. We are going to focus on Chapter 3, Chapter 4 and Chapter 5. That's the last 3 episodes that we've not talked about yet here on the show.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Let's just dive straight in. Chapter 3, The Sin, directed by Deborah Chow, written by Jon Favreau. I just want to say every episode so far I've loved, and each episode's had a very different vibe and feel, which is cool, while also telling this sort of adventures of this gunslinger. So I'm really digging the sort of serialized vibe of it, while it also tells like a singular story as well.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And then this episode, obviously, just give you a quick rundown. Obviously, like the Mandalorian now delivers the child to the client on Navarro. We know our plan's called Navarro now as well. And he collects his bounty of 20 bars of Beskar steel. Which, did he notice what the Beskar steel was kept in?
Yeah, it was the ice cream maker from Empire Strikes Back that Will Hood had. I like that. That was good.
It is. So now we know why he was running away from Cloud City holding the ice cream maker.
He had some Beskar on him.
Well, not necessarily Beskar.
No,
I think those units are like safes.
Yeah.
So you keep your money or keep whatever you want. Yeah. What's important. So he wasn't trying to save all his ice cream.
No.
He was probably saving all his money and all his savings. But that was really cool. I love that.
Yeah, it was a good little Easter
really
egg.
Cool,
but it
really
fit
cool
into the story as well, yeah.
Oh, 100%. This Imperial's got his Beskar steel. That looks illegal because it's all being branded. It reminds of nothing the branded steel. It reminds like the Nazi gold.
Yeah, definitely.
Where they stole all the gold from everywhere they took over and then remelted it and had the Nazi logo put into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very much like that. Again, these are the bad guys. Don't be fooled. That's what they're doing there with the imagery. He collects his bounty of 20 bars of Beskar steel. He's on the way out, and he asks about the client's plans for the child, which
Client doesn't take it very well, does he? He says, it's uncharacteristic of you.
It's uncharacteristic of bounty hunters, and it's none of his concern. And then the Mandalorian needs for conflict arises, but it's obviously the Mandalorian, you would think is a seasoned bounty hunter wouldn't care, but as we've seen, he does care about this child.
Oh, he's definitely got a heart, as you can tell. Yeah.
Definitely. So he's definitely connected to this child now, and he asks, and obviously he gets shut down when he leaves. I do get the sense of conflict would arise if he hadn't left. The Imperials are very uptight when he asks about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And plus, the child saved his life, and for a Mandalorian, that's got to be massive.
Again, you think about Star Wars and life debts.
Yeah.
How important a role they play, in our storytelling. Obviously, Han and Chewbacca's friendship is based off of one. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of Star Wars is pottery. It's taking things in. It's not copying, but again, it's taking that. I'm not saying it is a life debt, and they're not branding it as that, but it's that sort of idea that I've got a bond to this guy because this guy really helped me.
Yeah, definitely.
So he returns to the Mandalorian. Is it a coven? What are we calling it? Are we calling it a coven? Or are we calling it an encampment?
I'm sure you said you'll have to move the coven.
Yeah.
But
cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think they call it a tribe, a coven.
A tribe.
Yeah. Because she says when he gives her the first lot of Beskar in the first episode, I think he's she's like, oh, it's good to be back with the tribe. So,
yep.
It's definitely it's weird Mandalorian, obviously, culture, because there's different types here, there's different types there.
Just to quickly talk about it, I don't think that's not traditional Mandalorian culture. I think we're going to find out on the line that Mandalore, the Empire have done some bad things on Mandalore.
Definitely, yeah.
So these guys have left Mandalore. They're on the run. There's not many Mandalorian people left, and this is the way they live now in order to survive in their rebuild. and it's like it's very like I don't know. It's very almost what's the word I'm looking for? Cultish.
Yeah, because there had to be the other Mandalorian who, excuse me, who gets in a fight with the Mandalorian. He says, "Oh, we have to come up to the surface one at a time." Obviously, they're trying to hide the numbers. So I don't know whether their Mandalorians are actually still hunted, or do you think with the Empire gone, it'd be done? Like they could go back. But obviously, we don't know what's happened to Mandalore, and it doesn't sound. It sounds very bad what the Empire have done to Mandalore.
Yeah, and I think like I don't think they would trust like if you think the Empire came out of the Republic, so like they probably don't trust governments now. Like,
no, you wouldn't like.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so I think it's a lot to do with that. But I hope we find out. I think we will. Down the line, we'll find out.
We've got to find out what this because they keep talking about the purge. You know, at first, the first episode, I thought they just meant the Jedi purge, but it's not though. It's a different event. Yeah, it's a purge of Mandalore, which is like after because we obviously see him at Rebels. Bo-Katan's got the Darksaber and that, and then after that must be when this purge happens.
Yeah, I think so.
Because the Empire wouldn't want Mandalorians joining the Rebel Alliance. That'd be a massive problem for us.
No, 100%. So the Mandalorian's arm was damaged in the last episode when he fought the big beast. So the armorer basically forges him a new full piece of chest armor.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks really good. It makes me think I've got these figures in the Mandalorian and now they're out of date.
Yeah.
Because he's got a new chest piece on there.
He's got to have the best guy now.
Yeah, so they'll probably be releasing him soon, I imagine. Get this Mandalorian number 2, which I'll probably still buy.
Yeah.
So he gets his new armor. Again, he tells him to keep the remainder of his portals to the foundlings, which I think must be orphans to pick up.
Yeah,
in their ways.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because he says he was a foundling, and obviously we've seen a tiny bit of how he's come to the Mandalorians. Because obviously they keep getting these flashbacks that keep getting more detailed as time goes by. So I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think obviously they found him after an event in the Clone Wars where his family's been killed by droids. And obviously the Mandalorians must find him and they erase him.
Yeah. Because we got that last flashback, didn't we, where when she's forging the armor, the chest opens and it's super battle droid that's about to obviously kill him. So I'm guessing a Mandalorian comes and saves him after that.
No, definitely.
Because originally I thought it might be a Jedi because we haven't seen any clones in that flashback. So maybe it's not. Maybe it's the Separatists attacking the Mandalorians.
Well, I'm not sure if he's a Mandalorian, but I think maybe that world he's on, whichever world that is, like the Separatists are fighting for control of it, and maybe they're not fighting the Republic. Maybe they want control of the planet, so they're fighting the planet's inhabitants, taking control. Obviously, the Republic probably wouldn't arrive till after, once they got called in.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe there's Mandalorians on the planet who find them. First.
Maybe it's I hope it'd be like someone we know. Maybe it's like Pre Vizsla or something. But then I don't know if that lines up because
Pre Vizsla's like a nasty guy, isn't he? I think he's not a good guy. So I don't know if he would raise, and he's very much like Pre Vizsla wouldn't raise someone else as a Mandalorian. I don't think he's very much like
he's very much he's definitely
almost like sort of Harry Potter, like the Death Eaters, like we're pure blood wizards, don't like the mudbloods, sort of that type of feel from him. But there's loads of characters it could be. So I think we'll find that out as well. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So he gets his new armor. He gives something to the foundlings again. They're hinting at this. They made a point of mentioning these foundlings a few times now, and I think it is a point of every week they give them a little bit more information about this tribe, about this coven, and about how it operates now, and about how the Mandalorians are living because of what's happened in the past. And episode by episode, we're getting a bigger picture painted. Each time we get a little bit more painted in.
Yeah, we definitely are.
So he ends up gets his new armor, and obviously needs a new job. We know he doesn't like much downtime. Just likes to keep working. And he's obviously got the child in his brain, I think, so he wants something to take his mind off of it.
I
So
love Carl Weathers. I love Carl Weathers in this scene because
he goes. Mandalorian was back to the cantina. He took a Grief Karga, played by Carl Weathers, to get a job, and Grief Karga is very much giving it the Billy Diggins, isn't he? Saying you're my favourite client, my favourite hunter.
I love him. Yeah, he's like Mando, you're a legend and all that. And he's saying it to wind up the rest of the bounty hunters as well, because he keeps looking around.
He's saying it loud enough so that the whole bar can hear.
I think everyone in that bar's a bounty hunter, to be honest.
Yeah, and then he's like looking at everyone in the bar as he's talking. I was going to say, like, yeah, like if he was more like him, we'd all be more richer.
Yeah.
Which obviously would upset them quite a bit because bounty hunters are very egotistical.
Definitely.
Yeah, so he ends up going to see him. He's telling him that he needs to take some time off. He recommends a brothel.
He does, basically. He didn't say call it that, but that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, I think I got the impression it was like a sort of, I don't know, sort of Twilight type of brothel place.
Yeah.
Not really what the Mandalorian will be. As you know, he does have a heart and he does have morals, so it's probably somewhere he definitely doesn't want to go. But he ends up saying, I just want a job, give me a job, and he gets a job.
Yeah, to track down a Mon Calamari, isn't it?
Mon Calamari, yeah.
Which is cool to see a Mon Cala in that holograph form.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, again, it's something that we know. So it means as soon as we see it, it's something we can identify straight away as an audience, and it just makes everything so much more enjoyable and just come together nicely. Again, it's that idea of like Star Wars' poetry. We're just putting those things in there that are familiar. It's not the same, but it's familiar, and that's what's so good about Star Wars, that everything has that feel of familiarity. And then
familiarity.
That's why we have such a bond to it, because we feel we know and we feel we're part of it, and because it's shown with things that like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I know when that was. Excuse me, but it's that feel. That's why Star Wars fans are so so involved and so passionate. I think is because it's very accessible and it's very warm and fuzzy feeling that like these things that they just do are things that like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I know what that is. I'm part of that. And it's a simple thing to do, really. But it goes to show, like, I mean, they could have created a new creature for that and put a new creature in, but no, they've done that simply, and it's again subtle nod, and again it just brings the audience closer to the product, further into the product. It delves us into it, which is like one of the reasons why I love Star Wars. I think not so much I chose to, but more all these things to do. It's hard not to get involved because they're doing things like that where it's all about familiarity, and that's one of the things I love.
There's plenty of it. There's plenty of it in the show, and that's why everyone's enjoying it, because it's. I hate when people say this, but it is right. It feels like Star Wars, like 100%.
Yeah, no, definitely. But it's also very different. Like, it's got a very different sound. It's got a very different look.
It's not just a rehash.
But that sound, but that sound, that look is still Star Wars because you can do it in different ways. So I do absolutely agree with you there. So he gets his puck. That's what they call them now, bounty pucks, which I found interesting. Same with like an ice hockey nod.
Well, Dave Filoni's a massive ice hockey fan, isn't
he? Yeah, he loves the
Pittsburgh
team.
Steelers, I think. Yeah.
Well, it's Pittsburgh Steelers for the football, and it'll be the Penguins for the.
Oh, Penguins, that's it. Yeah, that's right.
So yes, that's quite cool. Goes to his ship to depart, ready to leave, and turns the ship up, fires it all up, and then something on his mind you can tell just by the way Pedro Pascal's moving his head, which is great acting. And he powers the ship back down. And
he sees the little ball that the Baby Yoda was playing with.
Yeah, off the control stick. Yeah.
Yeah. So that obviously makes his mind up that he's going to go back and find the child.
Yeah. So after that, he then decides that he's going to go back and infiltrate the client's base. He kills many Imperial stormtroopers and he rescues a child from Dr. Pershing's laboratory where it was being sort of tested on at the time. But he doesn't kill the Doctor. And then on the way back to his ship, the Mandalorian is ambushed by other bounty hunters and Grief Karga, who demand that they hand over the child. He refuses, and a firefight breaks out. So let's talk about all that there. First of all, he breaks into the client's base, which I thought was really cool. How he pulled got the identification droid, the sort of door droid, and sort of broke him.
Yeah, definitely. And then he blew a hole in, and obviously went to work, and he made short work of the stormtroopers.
I mean, for me, I know I've mentioned it like in our last episode we talked about chapters 1 and 2, but the way he's sort of stalking and running in the dark and going about his business, this had a very sort of a thriller type of like a thriller movie kind of feel. Like he's sort of like stalking these troopers in the dark, they're coming after him, they can't see, and like it's almost like, I don't know, it's not like Alien, but like has Alien vibes. Or like, I don't know where the alien is, but we're gonna go in there and like shoot it, so we're looking for it in the dark. And then it comes out of nowhere and like kills him, and it was quite. I enjoyed it. It was great, but it had that sort of horror, that thriller type of vibe.
Well, some of the ways he killed some of the stormtroopers was quite intense.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it was really. And I suppose if you're going to break into Imperial base, like you need to be intense, otherwise you're going to get killed.
Ruthless. Yeah, they'll bloody swarm you.
Yeah, and exactly just what you've got to say. Ruthless. He's very ruthless in there. That's a great word to describe it. Yeah. So he goes in there. He's very ruthless. He's very sort of one-dimensional thinking. Like, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to kill all these, and then I'm going to get out with the child. So yeah, I got really good thriller vibes of them stalking them and hiding around this sort of dark, because he cuts the power, doesn't he? So the lights are off in the place. I really enjoyed it. Gets in the laboratory, gets the child back. Doesn't kill Dr. Pershing. Dr. Pershing says he was trying to keep the child alive.
Do you believe him? I tend to believe him, but
I think he was trying to keep the child alive, but I don't.
But not through nice means. Yeah, not for nice reasons.
More like we can do more tests on him and stuff. Be interesting to see who these guys are working for. Like who's actually. I don't think that Werner Herzog's pulling the strings here. I think he's like the leader of this base, but I think someone from outside is like telling him that we need to get this child here.
I don't know whether it's going to be that Moff Gideon by Carla Despacito, but yeah, they're definitely working. Because I remember when the Mandalorian's outside, he overhears a conversation between them, and they blank out who they say they're working for. He's like, "Oh," they go to say the person's name, and then it cuts out, and then it goes back. Yeah. So he's obviously working for someone higher up.
No, definitely, yeah. So it's very interesting. I don't know. Part of me thinks I'm not like it's a very small part, like 2% part, but like with the fact with what the child is, like could this be part of like the Emperor's contingency plan?
Maybe, yeah. Because if the Emperor found out there was another one of Yoda's species out in the galaxy, I'm pretty sure he'd want to know something about it.
Because we know that during the time of the Empire that the Inquisitors are hunting down lists of Jedi children. We've seen it in both Rebels and then obviously in the new game Jedi Fallen Order. I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but it does deal with sort of lists of Jedi children.
Yeah, because in
the
Darth Vader comic, they have a thing called Project Harvest.
Yes,
which is where they go around taking Force-sensitive children.
So that's in three different areas of canon now.
Yeah.
So that's the canon in Rebels. Sorry, that's the comic book, Rebels, and the game where we've sort of dealt with them. So these lists exist. This information exists on children. The child is a child, and would have been born when those lists were being made by the Empire.
Yeah, I think someone.
So maybe it just hadn't got there yet.
I think someone said he was born in. Someone's done the math and said he was born in 41 BBY, which puts it before the Phantom Menace. He's
the same age as Anakin.
Yeah,
I think they've worked out he's the same age as Anakin Skywalker.
Is he? I thought it was before the Phantom Menace he was born.
Well, yeah, that's right. So Anakin's like 10, isn't he? 8, 10 in the
of course,
Menace.
Of course he is. Yeah. Sorry, that's pretty. Didn't know he's been that through then.
So he's just. I don't know if that's true, but I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and like he's the same age as Anakin Skywalker. So that's a fun little nod.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so obviously gets the child back, doesn't kill Dr. Pershing. Will that come back to haunt him? Who knows? I noticed when I think there's nowhere in sight when this is going down.
Yeah, he's definitely, which leads me to believe he'll be back.
Oh, he's definitely back, I think. Yeah. I think he's probably he's probably either run away because he doesn't want to die, or maybe he wasn't there late at night. He might have been he doesn't seem like a good guy, so maybe he's like at the cantina drinking. Maybe he's gone to the brothel.
Yeah, something like that.
To have some fun. Yeah.
He seems quite smart though, because obviously when the Mandalorian says, "Oh, what are you going to do with the child?" He probably twigs something here, saying, "Hang on, we might have a problem here later."
Yeah, I'm going to be out of town.
Might get out of Dodge for a bit.
Yeah. So after that, he manages to get out of there with the child, and he starts walking towards his ship. At which point we realise that bounty hunters have all got their tracking chips are going off again, beeping again.
I love that scene where like one goes and another goes, and then all the fobs start going.
Yeah, and now that way, sort of thing, you know that shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
So yeah, he ends up. The bounty hunters then alerted to the presence that the child's now back on the market. Head out after him. They stop him in the street. I notice they don't just shoot him down. Grief Karga gives him a choice. I'll let you go. I'll let you go to your ship if you give us the child. Bounty Hunter's like, let us go now. And like, no one will get hurt. Ends up being a firefight, a huge one. Mando does well, holds his own against everybody pretty much.
Yeah.
And then just as you think he's about to lose, the Mandalorians turn up to help him.
They do, yeah. And that's probably my favourite scene from the series so far, because I didn't think we'd see anything like that.
Yeah, the way the jetpack over, it was brilliant, wasn't it?
It looked like something out of Star Wars Rebels, but...
Yeah, no, it did.
Yeah. All the Clone Wars.
It did indeed, something short of animation, which I think is very fitting. And I think it was awesome they came and they helped them. Obviously, they're all great warriors, they've all got great armour. Each one has like a different sort of weapon, a different type of armor, almost as if like they're all different parts of this unit. So like together they're like unbeatable. I got that feeling.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like the one that obviously the Mandalorian has a scuffle with earlier in the episode. I like him.
So it's the Mandalorian who obviously he has differences with. He's the heavy set. Well, like I said, he's a Vizsla.
He's John Favreau as well.
So John Favreau voices him.
Yeah.
It's a descendant of House Vizsla.
Paz Vizsla.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then they call him on the figure. He's the heavy inventory because he's got that. He's obviously a big set bloke, and he's got that big, giant Gatling gun type weapon, I think.
Yeah.
So he comes in, and they sort of clean house, and then the Mando turns to him and says, like, "You're going to have to relocate the coven now." And then
this is the way.
Well, I mean, so these guys have had arguments and they disagree, but the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter what they disagree with in the past. That they've come to help him because he's their brother, he's part of their tribe. And then Mando brings up, "Oh, like you've done this now, and now you have to relocate the coven." And then he just simply goes, doesn't say, "Oh, you idiot, you've made me come in and save you." Doesn't have a go at him. He just says, "This is the way. Like one of our own was in danger, we came and saved him, and now we do have to relocate. But guess what? Like this is the way. Like we've saved you." And like that's not going to change whether I like you, whether I don't. Like I love you, and like I'm going to help you, and we've helped you. Now, consequence that we've got to move, but fact of the matter is we weren't going to leave you. Like that would be the biggest sin. Than having to relocate. So that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. It was very sort of heartwarming. These Mandos have a hard external exterior, and like they seem very stern and like. And as we saw before, they had an argument about stuff, but then in this moment, you see them being like. Very sort of family orientated and very sort of maternal.
Excuse me. Yeah, definitely. They're definitely one big family. And like I said, families don't always get on, but end of the day, you're your family, so they're going to help him when he's hour in need. To be honest,
definitely. So he then managed to reach his ship with the child, and that's sort of the end of that episode.
Well, Carl Weathers tries to get the drop on him, but obviously, he gets a shot, but then the Beskar saves him, which is ironic, really.
Yeah, I think so. That's teasing for his return down the line, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't mind seeing him come back and help the Mandalorian, but that's to be seen, I suppose.
I hope so. I like Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put too much money on it because he seems the stereotypical bounty hunter guild.
Well, he runs the guild, obviously, now the bounty hunter has sort of betrayed the guild, so, like, yeah, it does put him in a bad situation. Like, it does put them sort of as adversaries now rather than friends.
Yeah.
So that was The Sin, Chapter 3. Have you got any overall thoughts about the episode that you want to talk about before we move on?
It's probably my favourite episode so far. Just for the end fight scene was insane. I loved it. Like, seeing all those Mandalorians work together.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a show called The Mandalorian, so you're hoping to see, like, some serious Mandalorian action, and then in this episode we got it at the end there. They all turned up to help him.
To be fair, I thought we might see something like this eventually, but I didn't think we'd see it this early. I thought it'd just be one Mandalorian, but it shocked me. Like, obviously, he was living with a bunch of other Mandalorians.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely a great sequence, and great to get the action peppered throughout, rather than all at the end.
It makes me really excited as well because Deborah Chow directed this episode, and she's obviously directing the full Kenobi series. So she did a great job as well.
Yeah, she's also back for episode 7 of this series, so the penultimate episode, which gets released the day of release of Rise of Skywalker in the UK. She's directing that episode of Mandalorian as well. So maybe we'll see these Mandalorians again in that episode if that's the thing she's dealing with, story wise.
Definitely,
yeah. So moving on, we go on to chapter 4, Sanctuary. It's called Sanctuary, directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, written by Jon Favreau. So obviously, we know that he's sort of left Navarro. Is that what it's called, Navarro?
Navarro, yeah, the Guild planet, yeah.
I always worry when we get new names because they're not like embedded in my brain yet, so I'm worried about saying them wrong. Obviously, like the older names from like Tatooine, I can say that all day long. You know what I mean? Like, Malastay, I can say that all day long. But like the new ones, they've got to embed in a bit. So he leaves Navarro. Sort of, he's looking for somewhere to hide with the child. So you see him check this sparsely populated planet. It's Sorgan.
Sorgan, yeah.
Sorgan, yeah. So he sort of picks this planet because it's lack of technology, lack of large cities, lack of...
Great place to hide if you're trying to avoid...
lack of modern infrastructure. It seems to be quite like a farming planet. That type of feel. So he lands there. While he's here, he encounters ex-rebel shock trooper turned mercenary Cara Dune. I would say they're very suspicious of each other.
Yeah, I think she thinks he's there for her, and obviously he thinks she's there for him. So there's obviously a natural distrust.
So they have a great... So, I mean, let's just say that he lands on the planet, he finds a bar. He's sitting with a bar with him and Baby Yoda. Gets Baby Yoda some soup. Got to feed the baby. He doesn't have anything, obviously, because that would involve taking his helmet off, which he doesn't do in public. And we find out a bit more about that in this episode, which we'll get into. So he ends up asking sort of the bar staff what's the crack with Cara Dune. Tells him a little bit. Then she leaves, then he goes after her, then they've got a big fight in the alleyway. So you see she really can't hold her own.
She fights the Mandalorian basically to a draw, doesn't she?
To a draw, but also I noticed things that, like, for example, when he goes to use his flamethrower, she like steps on his wrist, like she rules that out. She takes that out of the fight. So like to me, that says she's fought Mandalorians before.
Yeah, she must know. Yeah,
or fought him before. I didn't get the impression they knew each other, but she's obviously familiar with that fighting style because she cancels a lot of what he's doing out.
Yeah, she must. Maybe she has come across some Mandalorians in her days in the Rebel Alliance, but then I think the Mandos were on the Rebels' side. But we don't know, to be fair, where the Mandalorians really sat in the Galactic Civil War.
Well, it could be different because they were so split up into houses. Obviously, as we've seen in Clone Wars, like House Fizzler were very much like anti-Republic, but then sort of some were pro-Republic. So
it's very Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you could do a whole Game of Thrones series set on Mandalore during that time in the Clone Wars. I think it would be a lot of fun. Maybe that's what they can do next.
Definitely. Yeah.
But so we'll find out after they've had this fight that they go back to the bar, chill out and get to know each other. Find out that June is hiding after taking early retirement. She asked the Mandalorian to leave as if like this is I
was there first. Yeah,
like one person wanted is enough here. Allowed two, it's going to draw a lot of attention. So the Mandalorian starts preparing his ship. He's like,
what was she wanted for? Did she ever say?
So she doesn't, but obviously I think the fact that sort of ex-rebel turned sort of mercenary, maybe she took a wrong job or maybe didn't deliver on something or...
Yeah,
maybe.
to be fair, she might not be in hiding from the New Republic. She might be in hiding from like a crime syndicate where something went wrong.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think it's probably more. It's probably more a crime syndicate or the Empire, I'd imagine. And I think that the fact that she stages on there for early retirement to me says she's got some money behind her. So maybe she's done like a solo and like took the payment and like not followed through on what she was meant to do. Maybe.
Yeah, it sounds like there's obviously a story there. We'll probably find out more when she returns.
When she pops back in, yeah. So Mando sort of agrees. He said, "Yep, you're right. Like, two of us here is definitely going to draw attention. That's not good for me either." So he sort of starts getting the ship ready to leave. While preparing the ship, two desperate sort of fishermen type people, farmer type people,
farmers,
approach to hire him to drive off a band of raiders. He sort of isn't that bothered about it until he realizes that, well, do they have lodgings? That's what he's after.
Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere as well.
Yeah, and it's away from Cara, so it's like they're not really going to be in the same area, and he can live there with these guys out the way for a bit. So he accepts the job in exchange for lodging, and uses their credits then to enlist Cara's help.
Yeah.
Because he obviously thinks it's going to be a two-man job. At the village, they are housed by Omera, so that's a widowed mother. And she sorts of formed quite a bond with our Mandalorian. This is where she asks him about the helmet, about his past, and he sort of confides in her that no one's seen without his helmet since childhood.
Yeah.
And that the tribe did take him in as an orphan. We find that out here. He says it. So, and sort of that, like, despite the fact that it's maybe seen as like a hard upbringing, a hard life, that like he's very grateful for the fact that the Mandalorians found him and raised him and given him a chance in life. And again, they've been there for him, and again, they proved last episode that they are there for him still as an adult. So he sort of delves all this into Omera, and there's almost like a romantic vibe teased there.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely some feelings there. She seems to like him, and he obviously seems to like her.
But he's very sort of holding back because obviously he knows that like he's Mandalorian, doesn't want to get attached, and he's seen what trouble he brought to his own tribe last episode. Without even trying to bring trouble. He knows the child's like hot wanted. So like it's like obviously like he wants to sort of stay. Doesn't really want to connect with too many people at the minute. So what did you make of the whole about that? Do you think Omera's going to come back into it later?
I'm not sure she might come back into it, but there's definitely a story there because she obviously lived a life. Because obviously she knows. It gets into later in the episode where she obviously knows how to shoot. She knows how to shoot really well. She doesn't strike me as the stereotypical like farmer.
Yeah, no, definitely.
They could use like it would be good if they used it. Like if the Mandalorian's in a band, he's like, look, but I don't really see him bringing her in because obviously she's got a daughter. He probably won't want to bring her in.
No, definitely, yeah.
Because then obviously him being an orphan as well, he wouldn't want. I don't think he'd want that for his daughter, her daughter.
No, you're right. I do agree with that. So after they take this job, they do realise that the raiders have an Imperial ATSD.
Yes, they do.
And their advice is we need to leave because that's dangerous, and the villagers refuse. So the Mandalorian and Cara train the villagers to defend themselves.
This is straight out of the Clone Wars because they do. There's an episode in the Clone Wars where Obi-Wan, Anakin, and I think it's Ahsoka help do the same thing for farmers on Felucia.
Well, there's that one on Felucia as well, and then so I got vibes from that one, and I also got vibes of what planet's it called? Saw Gerrera's homeworld.
Oh, Onderon,
yeah, that way they're helping Saw and what's Saw's sister called?
Steeler.
Where they're helping Saw and Steeler train the Onderons ready to fight. I got vibes of that as well. So that was really cool little game throwback to the animation world. So yeah, definitely throwing back the Clone Wars, I think, with this bit here. So they teach them to defend themselves, and then at night they provoke the raiders, leading the ATST into a trap.
I thought this was very, I thought this was very Jurassic Park. The way they revealed the AT, like the first Jurassic Park movie where where they keep the T-Rex they make the sound and all that. I think it was very Jurassic Park. Obviously,
it's in the trees hiding, but you can't see it, but you can hear it. Yeah.
Obviously, Bryce Dallas Howard is in the Jurassic Park family. It seemed very Jurassic Park to me, where they see the footprint when they're scouting.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah,
and then he comes out the trees and that. Yeah,
and the fact that it's got like red eyes, sort of a red light on it.
Yeah, it was cool. That it's the most threatening ATST I've seen. Like,
yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
So it was very threatening. I love that. I love what you just said there about Jurassic Park. I never picked up on that watching the episode, but now you've said that, it's clear as day.
It's one of my favourite films. So
it's a great movie. Yeah.
It seemed very Jurassic Park with the T-Rex, and obviously it just being a massive thing that comes out of the woods and all that type of thing.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. I love that. Great insight. That's brilliant. So they provoke the ATST into a trap, and the trap is that it's going to step into a hole and take it down. It's funny because obviously it gets to the hole and gets in. It looks down. It realizes where it is. It's not going to do it. And that's when Cara Dune ends up luring it into it.
Excuse me. Yeah, it definitely. I like the fact that it didn't just come out walking to the hole straight away.
Yeah, no, definitely. But they eventually manage to get it into the hole, and then the Mandalorian blows it up.
He does, yeah. And the rest of the raiders run off.
They do, yeah. And sort of peace returns to this village. The Mandalorian plans to leave the child in the village.
Yeah.
But then you see someone in the woods with a sniper rifle aiming at Baby Yoda.
I thought they got him. I thought for a split second, I thought, no way.
I was like, is this how they're going to free the Mando up to then go and do other adventures? I was like, no, you can't kill the baby. No way. And then obviously you hear a blaster go off, but it's actually
Cara Dune's caught the bounty hunter before he does it. Yeah.
Shoots him in the back, yeah. That's when the Mandalorian realizes that the village won't be safe. You do also make a point of showing you that the bounty hunter in the woods did have a tracking fob.
So obviously, he can't leave the child.
Yeah, and obviously Mando steps on the tracking fob, but then he decides that I'm going to leave with the child because I don't want to put these people in danger.
Yeah, definitely, because obviously if he leaves them there, then more bounty hunters are going to come.
No, definitely, as I said, and he's created a bond, especially with like Omira and Omira's daughter. So I think the last thing he wants to do is to get those guys in trouble when they sort of have been very generous to him. You got any other thoughts on this episode was called Sanctuary, by the way. So obviously, these are the fact that like maybe he did think this was Sanctuary, but in the end, it ends up being a case of if he wants it to remain a Sanctuary, he has to leave because him and the child are just too hot in the galaxy right now.
Once again, I really enjoyed the episode. I thought the action sequence was really good, and I liked learning more about Cara Dune. To be honest, I thought she had a.
You're Ian, I think your audio's just dropped out. I'm just going to talk about the episode till you come back in. I think Cara Dune has been a great addition to the story. Are you back there, Ian?
Yeah, I'm back.
Lovely, no worries. Do you remember what you were talking about?
Yeah, just saying about Cara Dune. I thought she was a really good new character. I liked her when she talked about her past with the Rebel Alliance. Said she saw most of her action after the Battle of Endor. So I wonder if she was like the Battle of Jakku and all that type of stuff.
I mean, I picked up on her saying, because I've only watched this episode once, I picked up on the fact that she was sort of saying that after Endor and after sort of the New Republic, it then became a sort of mission about protecting like security detail for senators.
Yeah. Basically being a bodyguard.
That type of thing, yeah. And obviously she wanted to be more part of that team that dropped in to take out high profile Imperials.
Yeah. Warlords. She said warlords, didn't she?
Yeah. So I think obviously it'd be great to see if she does mention. I mean, you've got like part of the press of this, like obviously, is it Gina Carano?
Gina Carano.
Gina Carano, yeah. So I think I think she's obviously been in all the media front and center for this, like since Celebration, really. So, like, she's probably coming back for more episodes.
Yeah, definitely. I think she's definitely coming back.
So even though he's left her on this planet, like she hasn't joined the gang. It's one of those things again where it's like Nick Nolte didn't join the gang,
yeah,
but he has formed a friendship there. So like down the line, when he go back and pick these people up, and then form the gang, that would been teased. So I thought Gina brought a great physicality to the role. Also brought like again, people said like the show's lacked a feminine identity. I think in this episode with Omira and with Cara, we get a lot of feminine identity, which is great. And again, I thought Gina. I mean, I've not seen her act much, but I know she's like an ex-UFC fighter.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was an ex-MMA fighter, so she's obviously
does make you think like, can they act? But I think like she absolutely smashes this out the ballpark. She's brilliant.
Yeah, I saw her in Deadpool. She's in Deadpool, the first one, and she's like the stereotypical like henchman type person who doesn't get much acting. But yeah, she really showed like she's a really good actress in this episode.
Definitely, and so I'm glad she's been chosen for this role. I think the role's great. Again, I think it shows a really good sort of, I don't know, like a really sort of huge part of like she's very strong, can be very sort of brute force at times, but also keeps that. She's also like, do you know what I mean? She's still very feminine. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd love to see her pop up in something now, because now that we know she's like an ex-rebel shock trooper, I'd like to see her pop up in like Alphabet Squadron in the sequel to that. You could see her pop up or something.
She could totally pop in that. She could pop up in future games, and they've got a game set in the same timeline that would like set during the Rebellion War. Like they could bring her into that. So I think like it's great she's involved. I think you can tell when she talks about it that she's very grateful. She obviously picks, especially Dave Filoni's mind about like the character and what's going on in the Star Wars galaxy. Because obviously, like she's come as not a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
But she's obviously, when you hear her talk, you know she's picked his brain a lot to get the understanding right and put the effort in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which I think means a lot. And it certainly means a lot to me. That's someone like coming from the outside of the Star Wars world has like shown the respect and treated it with like the respect it deserves.
Yeah, but it's the biggest franchise of all time, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. So I think she's a great addition. As you were saying, I think obviously he's building these relationships. He's built one with Nick Nolte's Ugnug.
Khalil,
Khalil, and then he's obviously made this one with Cara during this episode. So I think down the line these people might help him, hopefully. But he does leave the planet without Cara. And he won again. It's just him and the child leaving the planet again. Yeah, it's almost like this could be the adventures of Mandalorian and your Baby Yoda.
Yeah, well, people have been calling it the Baby Yoda show, aren't they? They're only joking, like, yeah. But I think Pedro Pascal's done an amazing job as well. So, like, obviously he can't show his face, so the way he's acted has been really good.
Oh yeah, I mean, like some people say, like, oh, you could have put anybody behind a mask. You don't need to have like a good actor. But it's like, well, you could do that, but you need an actor who can act through the mask, which not everybody can do. And like as you just said there, like Pedro's done a brilliant job. I think he's done a great job.
Yeah.
I don't think it could have been a better job, to be honest with you, done on it. So I think like he's done a great job. I love him.
Yeah, I've seen him in like Game of Thrones and Narcos and all that type of stuff. He's a really good actor. He's tremendous.
Yeah, and I think it's good as well because it means that he's acting great through the mask right now. But I think there will be a time in the show where he does become unmasked.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Whether it's like the final episode or whether it's like season 2. But again, you know you've got this guy who can do that as well. So there's no worries.
That was a bit of a concern. Like I've seen online with people saying, well, in the Clone Wars, Mandalorians had their masks off all the time, so it's a massive plot hole and all that type of thing. It's not. It's just different Mandalorians probably have different.
Well, yeah, it goes back to what we just discussed in the episode where, again, like something really bad has happened to them, so they're obviously living differently now. So like, it's a case of like, you know what it is? Well, we're not going to take your mask off because A, we're not in our home world. B, we don't trust anybody else around us. Like, C, we're hiding our numbers. If we're hiding our numbers to people, then we're definitely not showing our faces to people.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's not a plot hole. It's a case of like something really bad has happened, and
Yeah.
they've adapted and changed in order to survive.
Definitely, yeah. They're obviously. There's obviously like, and plus people are saying there's obviously different. There's probably is different ways Mandalorians go about being a Mandalorian. If you get me, then there's probably some who think they're better than others because they do this, and some think they're better than others because they do that.
Yeah,
and that type of probably I could see it being quite a snobby culture, to be honest, and like quite well, you're not worthy of being a Mandalorian. Like if they when they're fighting each other.
I think it was back in like especially if you look at House Vizsla, like they were like that. Like that house was definitely like that.
He's like 100% traditional warrior Mandalorian.
Yeah, but almost for like no reason. Like they said, he was a terrorist at the end of the day. Like Death Watch was a terrorist group against their own people.
Yeah, no, I was like, let's be honest, like he conspired with Maul to undermine Mandalore, basically.
He definitely gets what's coming to him because he got into bed with Maul and then meets his fate with Maul.
And then thought he could take Maul out, which is probably a very bad idea.
That's just ego. That his ego's got too far ahead of him. And you should know that I'm not going to go near Maul. Like he's very dangerous.
Maul, but he killed Jedi Masters, and
that's what I mean. Maul's like he's a different breed of animal, isn't he? Really, he's very dangerous. You got any thoughts about Sanctuary before we move on?
Not really. I think we've covered most of it. Like I said, the only thing, like I said, like I really liked. I thought it was very Jurassic Park how they revealed the walker and that type of thing.
Yeah,
I really like
that idea. Yeah, like I said, I hadn't noticed it as soon as you said it. I've just imagined the episode, and you're right, 100%.
It's just you hear the footsteps and that. It's like it just seemed very first Jurassic Park film, building suspense.
Yeah,
this big monster attacks them and all that. So yeah, I thought it was very Jurassic Park.
Yeah, no, great. Brilliant. Moving on in, Chapter 5, The Gunslinger, is directed by Dave Filoni and written by Dave Filoni. So we start off in space. There's a dogfight happening. The Mandalorian's being pursued by a bounty hunter. Nice to see a cool little spaceship battle. Obviously, these things are very expensive to shoot.
Yeah.
And obviously, we know that this television has a big budget, but it's also a television budget, not a movie budget.
Yeah.
So it was great to see a space battle, which I thought looked good.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
It didn't look sort of rubbishy for television, or like on a lesser budget. I thought it looked really good.
It put the Mandalorian in peril as well because he wasn't doing very well for a while.
And some things like if the ship's behind you and takes you by surprise, like you are in trouble.
Yeah.
You've got to use your skills to get out. It's like, do you know what I mean? If he's behind you and following you, then it's hard to get back behind him to take back control.
It's like the high ground with Obi-Wan and Anakin, isn't it? Like if you're behind, then obviously you've got unless obviously if the Razor Crest had like a rear turret or something, you can fire back. But then there's not really much you can do. You just got to try and evade.
Yeah, which he does. He evades, and comes up with the idea of activating those sort of almost like a quick stop engine, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like what Luke does in Return of the Jedi with a speeder bike. That type of maneuver where he pulls back and gets behind the scout troopers.
Yeah. So he does that. It manages to deal with these enemy. This bounty hunter who is tracking the child yet again. He
tries to use the Mandalorian's line as well, doesn't he? I can bring you in cold or warm. He's like, that's my line.
Yeah, that was really good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So he takes care of this bounty hunter who's pursuing him. I love the dogfight, looks great. And then he ends up outside of a planet that looks very familiar.
It does, yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, is that planet? And
because the way they frame it from the cockpit, you can see the moon, like from the first shot of A New Hope, and like obviously the planet below.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So again, it's like that poetic feeling of Star Wars, where it's like I've seen this before. Like, is this that? Yeah. And obviously, he comes over the comms, Mos Eisley control.
Yeah.
So straight away, I was doing a bit of
yes. I was like, yes,
we're
going back.
Yeah, when I was watching it, I was like almost did like a little. I was sort of almost, I was very excited.
Yeah, to go back.
To go back, yeah, and obviously because I haven't just said, Tatooine, they went out, they tease you with how it looks, and then tease you with like Mos Eisley. I was like, get in.
Yeah.
So obviously lands at Docking Bay 35, is it?
Yeah, 35. Yeah, it was. I think it was 35.
So he ends at number 35. And he meets some pit droids.
Yeah, very Phantom Menace. I wonder if it's the same pit droids from the Phantom Menace. That'd be good.
Yeah, the same ones that just went through that engine.
Yeah.
I can't remember whose engine that was.
The Three Stooges.
Yeah.
Ollie Mandrell, I think it was.
Yeah, yeah,
I think that would something like that. So I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's something like that.
yeah. So, but yeah, so get some pit droids again, some prequel flavour. I love myself some prequels, so I'm glad that they're starting to flavour that in because, of course, you're going to have pit droids in Tatooine. Like that's where they're used. We've seen them there before, so why wouldn't they still be there?
Makes total sense.
Yeah, and then we also meet a new character who the droids work for. I'm trying to remember her name.
I can't remember her name. No.
She's played by Amy Sedaris, who is actually, if you watches BoJack Horseman, that's Princess Caroline.
I don't watch that. Yeah, but I've heard she's a big actress. Like I've never heard of her personally, but yeah, I really enjoyed her in this.
No, yeah, she's really good. I think
she's quite sassy.
Oh, she's called Motto. Her last name is Motto.
All right.
And she's got a first name, I'm sure. That's Motto, not Watto.
Yeah, that'd have been good if it was Watto, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's probably dead by now,
though. So Amy Sedaris' character is called Peli Motto.
Yeah.
The docking bay attendant and ship mechanic. So you meet Peli Motto and our pit droids. She's like, "Oh, your ship looks very damaged. You need some stuff done." He's like, "I don't. I've got no money. Leave the ship alone. Get those droids away from your ship again." Yeah. He doesn't trust the droids, as we've seen throughout this, and I think that all dates back to that Clone Wars flashback. Doesn't like droids. Droids took his family and destroyed his home during the Clone Wars.
100%, yeah.
She manages to talk him into the stuff he needs for the ship, and he goes, "Right, I'll go and find work. Get started on the ship, but only you touch it. Don't want the droids touching the ship."
Yeah. Heads to the cantina, the cantina from A New Hope.
So he heads
obviously, how they set it up, yeah.
So he heads into the cantina, and what I thought was really cool was this bar that refused to serve droids
is now being run by droids.
It's now got droid attendants working on it because obviously it's changed ownership at some point.
It's the same droids. I don't know if it's the same droid, but it's the same droid model from Jabba's Palace in Return of the Jedi as well.
Yeah, it's the same model, so I think they are like serving droids. So if they're in there serving, there's three of them behind the bar. He talks to one, he's asking for information. And it tells them that they don't like the Bounty Hunter Guild anymore, I think. Is that what
he said? The Bounty Hunter Guild doesn't operate on Tatooine anymore, which obviously is probably due to Jabba the Hutt not being there anymore. I got the feeling that Mos Eisley's a different place now that the Hutts are gone.
I'm not sure if the Hutts are gone. I mean, there's a line later on which we'll talk about where like they sort of mention the Hutts a little bit, and I'm thinking maybe like enough different. Maybe they're not as like loud, but maybe a new Hutt come in and is running things a bit more quiet there. But
I definitely think the Hutt's presence on Tatooine might have it's definitely waned.
Yeah, oh no, definitely. I think there's definitely like a lot more low profile now.
Because you go in the cantina in A New Hope and it's swimming with absolute the worst of the worst, and then you went in there in this episode and there was a few people in there, maybe.
Yeah, no, definitely. And
2 aliens sat at the bar and that.
Which remember as well when he's walking through, it's like stormtrooper heads on sticks.
Yeah. Which obviously I think that's got to be obviously in Return of the Jedi where they go around planets and you obviously see Mos Eisley celebrating the Empire's defeat. I'm guessing they must have had a riot on Mos Eisley and probably killed the stormtroopers because they said, "Oh well, the Empire's defeated," and they probably just like put it up as a warning to maybe any more Imperials that try to
take refuge on the planet.
Take refuge, and Mos Eisley said, "You're not welcome here."
Yeah, no, definitely. So he goes in. This is where he meets. I've forgotten his name as well now.
Oh, I can't remember his name. Yeah.
I had it all written down.
Yeah.
I do prepare sometimes for these things.
Did you catch the Easter egg with this character? No, it's not Easter egg, but did you catch the thing in the? I know it's at the end credits, but did you catch who they had in mind for this character?
No, I didn't see all the credits. No.
At the end credits is Orlando Bloom.
Oh, Orlando Bloom, is it?
Yeah. I didn't see it, but I saw it on Twitter, and obviously they put up the concept art at the end of the episode. And it's Orlando Bloom on a speeder bike. It's definitely Orlando Bloom. So obviously, I don't know whether they wanted Orlando Bloom to be in it, or whether they just thought that's the type of character we want. But yeah, it's definitely. I'll send you the image after we finish recording. But yeah, it's definitely Orlando Bloom.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Obviously, they couldn't get Orlando Bloom. Maybe Orlando Bloom didn't want.
Maybe it's too expensive to get Orlando.
Or maybe if you did want to do Star Wars, maybe he wanted a bit more bigger role.
Yeah, I mean, but this guy obviously He's called Toro Calican.
That's it, yeah. That is it.
He's a fledgling bounty hunter looking to join the guild by capturing Fennec Shand. And that's where he talks to the bounty hunter, the Mandalorian. He's like, I've got this job.
Yeah. The Mandalorian obviously knows who Fennec Shand is.
He's like, no, that's too dangerous a job.
Yeah.
And that's when Toro tells him, look, you can keep all of the money because my only goal is to get into the guild.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in the guild yet, so this will be my first bounty. So you can keep the money, then my prize will be getting into the guild. Which the bounty hunter agrees to do. So, and then, so they agree, tells him the plan. He says he's going to get 2 speeder bikes and meet me back here.
Yeah, and obviously meets him at the docking bay that he's at. Obviously, he sees the kid. He doesn't think anything of it. Obviously, that'll come back later in the episode.
That's right. Yeah.
And then they set out into the Dune Sea.
They do, yeah. Again, lovely little sort of nods. The speeder bikes were really good nod. I thought they looked and sounded very like Star Wars speeder bikes we've seen in the past.
Yeah. It makes me wonder where Fennec Shand was going though, because they said that she was heading over the far side of the Dune Sea, which is, I'm pretty sure that's where like the Sarlacc pit is, and the maybe Jabba's palace on the far side of the Dune Sea. Yeah,
well, I think we'll get into that. So, like, obviously, the hunting Fennec Shand, played by Ming-Na Wen.
Yeah.
In sort of Fennec Shand is a notorious sort of mercenary bounty hunter, isn't she?
Yeah, she said she's worked for every crime syndicate, including the Hutts, and obviously now they said something like obviously she's on the run now. Now that the New Republic put all of employers into lockdown, so I'm guessing at this point the New Republic are cracking down on the Hutts, the Pikes, all the criminal syndicates. Obviously, once the Empire's gone, that's a massive hole to fill. And obviously, I think the crime syndicates are probably trying to fill that hole.
Yeah, definitely. So they go after her. So maybe she's going to hide in Jabba's palace if she knows it's empty.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Or maybe she's looking for something there. Or maybe she's meeting somebody, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But she's here for a reason. She's obviously hiding out. We come across a bounty. Well, we're going across the Dune Sea, and then we encounter some sand people, some Tusken Raiders.
We do, yeah.
It's a great little nod, and then also in like something different as well is that they end up negotiating with the Tusken Raiders to get across the land.
I thought, oh, they're going to end up fighting them here, but they're obviously not. The Tusken Raiders were quite open to negotiating, to be honest.
Yeah, I think like we want them binoculars, and he's like, "You can have the binoculars."
Yeah,
no,
he gave away his brand new binoculars. Then.
So I think they got what they wanted. I think they knew it was just 2 people. They weren't like necessarily trespassing. They just wanted to pass through the land, and they've sort of let them do that. Because I mean, again, we haven't really seen the Sand People be like mega angry. We'll have them in New Hope, obviously, where they've attacked Luke. Angry because they're obviously on the land.
They're in the Phantom Menace as well at the pod race. Obviously, where they
pod race is driving through the land.
Yeah,
because I think they're driving through the land, like talking to them, and obviously they're going to steal Shmi, which is bad. I don't know why they did that, but maybe she was on the land as well.
I've seen a crazy theory about that. Maybe it was Palpatine that orchestrated that, or Dooku or something. Yeah, definitely, I could see that being the case.
I suppose, yeah, it's very. Could be.
Something he'd do.
Yeah, I think that's an episode on its own. That could be its own episode to talk about the things that Palpatine did to set up what happened
to Anakin.
Yeah, no, definitely. So they negotiate with these Sand People, and they end up passing through the land, and that's when they encounter a Jewback that has a downed rider. He's dead.
Yeah, dead bounty hunter. Yeah,
he's hanging off. Yeah. Does he have a tracking fob? Is it show his tracking fob?
I don't think he had a fob. No, I don't think he did. I don't think he showed it. Yeah,
but yeah. So again, like sort of we're seeing how sort of Fennec has killed this guy from long distance by the looks of it.
It's obviously someone who's after her, and she's obviously took him out.
She took them out. Yeah. So they ride on, and then they start getting shot at. So they take cover, wait for nightfall. Fennec Shand is sort of up in the cliffs.
She's got him pinned under a ridge, hasn't she?
Yeah, and she's obviously really good with that sniper rifle.
Yeah.
So Mando's like, we'll wait till dark. And his plan is wait till dark, and then he can use his flash grenades to obscure her scope, and they can sneak in underneath them. Which is what they do. There's a shootout. She ends up destroying one of the speeder bikes, but they end up getting there and capturing her.
They do, yeah. Even though the young bounty hunter, I can't remember his name, he messes it up and fires the flashbang at the Mandalorian and that. He gets the Mandalorian shot.
Yeah, Toro.
Yeah.
So they end up capturing her. Obviously, they've got one speeder bike now, so Mando says we'll go and get the Dewback, and then we can ride into town on the Dewback as well as the speeder bike.
And the Toro thinks, obviously, no, well, you're not setting me up like that. So he sends the Mandalorian off to get the Dewback instead, because the Mandalorian tries to send him off first.
Yeah, he does, yeah, and he's like, no, like, I know what you'll do, you'll take the bounty in on your own. So Mando goes off, Fennec starts talking to Toro, trying to like sort of
manipulate
twist him. Yeah, manipulate him and twist him. He says he's having none of it. But she ends up somehow, Fennec knows about what's happened on Navarro.
Yeah, his words got around that obviously a Mandalorian caused trouble on Navarro.
And that's what he's got a child.
Yeah.
Mentions that, and obviously that you see Toro's face straight away. Think,
yeah, he twigs it. He probably twigs it. Yeah.
I saw a child at the hangar bay.
Yeah.
So it's like sort of words got out. So like she's not out the loop.
No, she's not. No,
she's not hiding and not talking to anybody. She's obviously talked to someone.
Yeah, obviously words got out about what happened.
Yeah,
but you kill a bunch of bounty hunters, obviously, I think word's going to spread.
Yeah, so they end up says if you want, me and you can actually capture him and the child and make even more money. To which this Toro guy shoots her in the belly and says, "Well, I'll just do it myself and get all the money for me."
Yeah, because 100%, if he had let her off the cuff, she would have killed him. 100%.
I think
there's no way she's working with him.
Yeah. So he makes the right choice. So he shoots her in the belly and then he leaves on the speeder bike. I'm trying to think, does the Mando come back?
He does come back and then he sees her laid down. Obviously, he puts two and two together and starts heading back to
head back to
Mos Eisley. Yeah.
So he heads back to Mos Eisley. At this point, I just want to say that no one's checked Fennec Shand's pulse or to see that she's actually dead.
Yeah, it leaves it very open-ended.
Yeah, but obviously Mando goes back into Mos Eisley where Toro has captured the mechanic and captured the child.
Yep.
The pit droids are hiding in the office, not coming out because they're very wimpy. Not even helping them master.
No.
They're staying in there hidden. But he ends up again using the same flash grenade trick to sort of blind Toro, and then he shoots him. No problem, kills him. It's a headshot, isn't it?
I think, I'm pretty sure he shoots him in the head.
So yeah, it's very unforgiving. Like, there's not going to be no talking here. I'm taking you down. You're dead.
He's definitely not on the Jedi way of thinking.
Yeah. So he gives. He then steals his money, dead man's money, steals Toro's money, and gives it to Amy Sedaris' character, which Peli Motto, I believe.
Yes.
Yep. So he gives her the money. Says that cover the repairs, and she's like, "Oh yeah, it does cover it, no problem." Again, I noticed that she sort of hints out it's like more than enough, but like the man doesn't ask for any money back.
Yeah, he's definitely
he's making these friendships with people who are like if he turned up now down the line with a favour, should probably more inclined to help him because of it. Oh, he left more than enough money last time, no problem.
He's definitely like if someone helps him, he's definitely wants to go out of his way to say thank you.
Yeah, so he then decides to time him and the child to leave because again they've had another
close
the
call.
child. They're just too hot.
Yeah,
they're too hot. Wherever they go, where there's people, there's too hot, and they end up getting caught out. Flash grenade. He manages to disorient him. Toro Calican kills him, takes his money, gives it to Motto to pay for the repairs, and they leave Tatooine. then we go back into the desert where it's now night time. We see
I
Fennec.
like the Beggars Canyon reference. Where she's like, "Oh, dump the body, just take him to Beggars Canyon," and she's a reference, obviously.
Oh yeah, to the pit droids. Yeah, it is, yeah, that's right. Because obviously the body's lying there in the hangar.
Just go throw it in Beggars Canyon.
Yeah. So that was again. This episode's full of stuff like that, which we'll dive into in a minute. So out in the desert, a mysterious figure approaches Shan's body, and then we have the credits. So it's another cliffhanger.
Yeah. I've seen all sorts of theories of who this could be.
So what was your first thought?
First thought was
watching this.
Well, it was something to do with that Moff Gideon that we know that's coming in the episodes, or maybe like a Death Trooper and that. But apparently, I've seen maybe it's Boba Fett, maybe because apparently some people have said it looks like Mandalorian armor, and obviously people are putting two and two together because apparently the boots sound exactly the same as Boba Fett's in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, so the boot spur sound effect is the same one from the Empire Strikes Back when he's walking through Bespin following the carbonized hand, I believe.
Do I think it's Boba Fett? Probably not. It's probably not him. Do I want it to be Boba Fett? Yeah, kind of.
Well, it's one of two things. Like, is it Boba Fett? And then if it is Boba Fett, like we know that Boba Fett doesn't have that armor.
Yeah, because
someone else is wearing.
Cobb Vanth gets it in the Aftermath trilogy. Whether Boba Fett's obviously gone and killed Cobb Vanth.
Killed him, took it back.
But I've also seen a theory that it could be Luke Skywalker, but I don't think it's Luke Skywalker. Because obviously he's out in the galaxy at this point looking for Force, Jedi-related stuff. And I'm pretty sure if Luke Skywalker hears there's one of Yoda's species out there somewhere, and he's Force sensitive, I'm pretty sure Luke Skywalker will want to
no, definitely,
meet that child. But I don't think it's Luke Skywalker, because obviously I don't know why Luke Skywalker could be wearing armour and that type of thing.
I mean, if that's Luke Skywalker and they've cast someone's played Luke Skywalker and it's not been leaked yet, that's like, I was surprised that would happen. Yeah. I'm surprised that wouldn't leak beforehand. But
they've got Sebastian Stan in to do Luke because he looks exactly like Mark Hamill.
Yeah, that's what everyone's saying. Yeah, but maybe I think it's more likely maybe someone on the trail of the bounty hunter, or could have been someone tracking down her.
Could have been, yeah, and then
share the bounty as well.
Because they definitely mention they say when they say the far side of the Dune Sea, that's where the Sarlacc pit is and that. And obviously, I know what we all know what Dave Filoni's like. He doesn't just do this sound. To me, I'd love it to be Boba Fett because I want to know what happened. It's been 5 years since Disney bought Star Wars, and we still don't know what happened to Boba Fett. Is he dead? Is he alive?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where this show could have been about Boba Fett, but they've not done that.
I think Dave Filoni originally wanted it. Not Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau originally wanted it to be about Boba Fett, and they said no, you can't.
Yeah, so that makes me think they've got plans for it. But again, you got to think with the trilogy ended, with saga ending, this year, in 10 days or whatever, 13 days.
I know.
There's a lot of time. I think they will do something with Boba Fett, but I think it might be 10 years down the line when they're
I can't wait till they open up. Obviously, they're kind of hamstrung because they've got obviously episode 9 coming up. But I can't wait till they open up that time period between Jedi and Force Awakens because it's 30 years there.
Well, they're starting to do it now, obviously with the show. Yeah. And I think after, come next year, the floodgates will open on that.
Yeah. Because I really want a Luke Skywalker series of it could be books or anything. I
think it would work as a comic. I think that would work.
Yeah, it would. Well,
they've got be a beautiful comic.
They've got the rise of Kylo Ren coming out, haven't they? And that.
Yes, is that Charles Soule right now as well?
And the second issue is Luke and Ben going to the unknown regions, and they obviously fight the Knights of Ren, which I can't wait for. Yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. So obviously, that's what that's gonna be. But back to I would love it to be Boba Fett, but it's probably another bounty hunter on the trail. But then, if it's another bounty hunter, I don't get why you don't show his face. Why'd you keep it a secret?
Well, maybe it's someone. Well, here's my question. So obviously, he's just approached the body, and then the episode ends.
Yeah.
So, do you think in the next episode we're going to pick right up from there, or do you think we're just going to see where the Mandalorian is?
Probably see where the Mandalorian is. Maybe they seed it till the end.
Maybe
they seed it to the end of the series, and you keep getting these little hints of who this is, and then maybe it's like very Marvel at the end of the first series. Maybe this doesn't become a thing in the first series. Maybe at the end of the first series, someone reveal like you get revealed, oh, it is Boba Fett, and that maybe it's that type of thing. And then it's like series 2, cool. Boba Fett's on his trail and all that type of thing.
Yeah, maybe. And then another thing as well, though, Boba Fett's on the trail. Obviously, Boba Fett's not a Mandalorian, so if he's still parading around as one, I can see them getting angry at that.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. But I'd love it to be Boba Fett because I've always loved the character. I know a lot of people say, oh, he's very generic and that type of thing, and it's just a cool guy in a suit, but his stuff in the Clone Wars and Attack of the Clones and that, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
And I love the Jango Fett Age of Republic comic where it got into like why he wanted a clone, an unaltered clone, and that's he got into that and like why he wanted to carry on the Fett name and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So it definitely, I'd love it to be Boba Fett. Do I think it is? No, probably not. But it'd be really cool if it was.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it'd be cool if it is Boba Fett. It could be Boba Fett. I think it could be any other bounty hunter as well. Maybe another famous one who would know, so it might get revealed. But I've just got a feeling like it's most probably going to be Giancarlo Esposito's character, Moff Gideon. And I think that maybe he's looking... So obviously he's still running his little part of the Empire.
Yeah, he's a Moff, isn't he? He's a Moff, yeah.
Because he has Death Troopers and he has TIE Fighters, I believe, is what I've gathered.
I wonder if he's got a Star Destroyer.
From the trailers. So maybe, but you got to think that if he needs backup, if the New Republic got bounties out on Fennec Shand, if he can find her and go, look, I'm not going to kill you, come work for me, because I need really skilled killers, and like anywhere else you go, you're going to be hunted, but with me, you won't be. I think she would probably take him up on the offer.
Yeah, because I remember her saying she had a rendezvous in Mos. I can't remember if she said Mos Espa. It was Mos Espa. Yeah. That must be where she was heading, Mos Espa. Maybe she was meeting this person. We don't know.
Yeah,
and he's gone and found her and said, "Oh well, they've killed."
Maybe she didn't turn up on time.
Yeah.
So I've come looking to see where you last were.
Yeah.
Because you didn't turn up on time. So yeah, I think it's most probably Moff Gideon, and I think he's most probably finding out to say, "Come work for me. New Republic's after you. I'm still here as part of the Empire, so come work for me. You won't be hunted, and you can actually help me kill some people who will probably after you."
That's the only thing. Like, if it is Moff Gideon, I don't get why they don't show his face, because obviously we know he's been in the trailer. It's like, oh, that's that Moff Gideon. Like, to me, there's definitely a reason why they don't show this person's face. Yeah,
I think so. So maybe you're right. I think I'm excited. I hope they do show a next episode at least.
Yeah, even if they just keep teasing it at the end of episodes, like maybe this person on the Mandalorian's trail.
Yeah, possibly. So that would be really cool. But that brings us to the end of the episode. What are your overall thoughts on the Gunslinger?
I really enjoyed it. I've seen some people online saying they didn't really enjoy it, but I can't say that. I really enjoyed it. I like the callbacks. I didn't think it was overdone, like the callbacks. I didn't think it was...
I love this episode. I thought it was a great episode. Again, the callbacks I thought were all subtle, all fit in very nicely.
There was nothing that made you go, oh, all right, I get what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it wasn't like he pulled up and he went, oh, that's Tatooine. Yeah. It was very much like, it looks like they've used this. The starters, they've been very artistic and showed you that, like, that's the same angle of the planet we've got in New Hope.
It's the same shot when you see it in there.
So that's beautiful storytelling. Yeah. And then obviously the fact the show's very much show not tell. So they sort of show you that, and then obviously it comes over the comm where it's like, oh, Mos Eisley control. So again, that's show not tell. It's showing you that, like, oh, it's Mos Eisley.
It's not like the Mandalorian's gone, oh, it's Tatooine. Like, I wonder if anything's happened here before and all that type of thing.
Yeah. So it's all very subtle and all very fits, and obviously he lands there. And then obviously I love the way the Dock and Bay 35 is the same font as Dock and Bay 94.
Yeah.
From A New Hope. Obviously you've got some pit droids in there. Time way back in the prequels. Obviously, as you before mentioned, obviously you need to get rid of a body. You put a body in a ravine or in a like off a cliff.
Yeah, in Beggar's Canyon. Yeah,
we've got one in Tatooine, Beggar's Canyon. So you would just use the same one. Why wouldn't you call it that? Yeah. Makes sense. Obviously, it's not forced.
Yeah. You had the Dune
Mos Espa. Yeah, Dune C. And if she's going to go to another town for Mos Eisley, it probably will be Mos Espa. That's another one of the towns.
Mos Espa's Phantom Menace, isn't it? It's not Mos Eisley.
That's Anakin's hometown.
Yeah, Mos Espa. Yeah.
So again, I thought everything sort of was really. I loved all the nods and it got us really excited.
Yeah.
But I thought they were all really subtle
And it
all
fit,
made
yeah.
sense to the
Obviously
story.
fit,
It all
yeah.
fits. And I love Toro's character. I love how like he was obviously he was so desperate to get in that girl that he just made mistake after mistake after mistake.
Oh yeah, he's definitely inexperienced.
Now he's dead, yeah, but he wanted it so bad he fully believed in it.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I like his attire, like what he wore was very Star Warsy, bounty hunter.
He's also sat in the same booth as Han Solo, the exact same way Han Solo was sat.
Yeah, against like Star Wars' poetry. For those who know, like I actually got that phrase, and it's not I didn't come up with that. That's from a podcast called Sky Talkers, hosted by Charlotte and Caitlin, and they have really good insights and they're on the money when they say that. So that's why
it is. I totally agree with it. Yeah.
I use it in everyday conversation about Star Wars because it is. But again, I didn't come up with that myself. I realised it when those guys were talking about it.
Yeah.
So I just want to give them some credit there. To be fair, a lot of the show comes from listening to those guys. Have you listened to Sky Talkers?
I haven't. No, I'll have to give it a listen.
Yeah, definitely. They're very you can get very meta about stuff, but in a great way. They put a delve into things and like in a very sort of methodical way of thinking about it. They also talk about it very in a fun way. Don't get us wrong, but some of the ideas and like the sort of Kylo's mask being all cracked and stuff.
Yeah,
repaired with the red welds, like the other guys who first came up with the idea, like Kitsugi, the Japanese
I've seen that. I saw that. I saw Star Wars Explained talk about that. Yeah, I know you're on.
Yeah,
I know you talk about that. Yeah.
So they got it from Charlotte and Caitlin, I think Star Wars Explained, because I think they're all sort of friends in the same sort of friendship group within the Star Wars fandom. But I mean, anybody who's listening, go check out Sky Talkers.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ian, if you want to check them out, I think they've just put up their last episode about like the what they're hoping for from Rise of Skywalker.
I'll have to check
not going to talk about any more after the movie. Yeah. So that's probably a good way to get on. But they review Mandalorian, they review Resistance. So they've got quite a lot of content there, and it's all pretty good.
Yeah. I'll definitely check it
out. So just game sort of come to the end of this episode, the Gunslinger. I just want to say I loved the episode. I think it did a lot to sort of show you what's happening on Tatooine since the fall of the Empire, which was really cool. Also showed you the Mando sort of making choices. He probably didn't want to take that job, but he had to get the ship fixed again to help Baby Yoda. So making choices he probably wouldn't normally make. Again, showing the Mando helping someone who's helped him. He helped the woman, he gave her the money. And he flew off again. And obviously we get the cliffhanger ending, which I thought was really awesome. Again, I was so excited. I was a bit like, "Oh damn, you've ended the episode, and who's that?"
Yeah.
I was like, but in an excited way, not in an angry way. So I was like, I thought this episode ticked a lot of boxes for me. I loved it. I'm very excited for where we're going. The next episode is directed by Rick Fumiiwa, who obviously directed the second episode.
Yeah,
he's back at episode 6 with no title yet.
It's I read the description today. It's the Mandalorian joins a crew of mercenaries on a job. That's what's happening next.
All right, sounds fun. Lot could go wrong.
I think that's when we'll get Bill Burr and the Twi'lek that you see in the trailer, and I'm guessing that's this episode.
Yeah. Well, I read that. Is it right that I'm going to get his name wrong? But have you watched Sons of Anarchy?
I have not. No.
All right. Is it Mark Boone Jr.? Oh, let's do a quick check. There's a great actor in that. He plays Bobby Elvis. Mark Boone Jr.
Yeah.
He played Detective Fash in Batman Begins, I think.
Right.
But he's a great actor, so if he's in this series somewhere, so he's coming up. So I'm excited to see him. Have you got any other thoughts or questions about the episode so far, the series so far, Ian?
No, I'm just really enjoying it. I think it's some of my favourite Star Wars of all time. They've really nailed it. It makes me really excited to see what other series are going to come to Disney Plus. Because if this is how I love like the whole layout of the show. I think it's really good, and I love the fact that it's not like Netflix. It's not like they haven't just dropped the whole show.
Yeah, like that's one thing with. Because that's one of the things I love about Netflix is that because I tend to watch telly where I do binge, so I do like 3 or 4 episodes in a night, or like in a sitting.
Yeah.
But with this, so when this is announced as being like weekly, I was a bit like, oh no, like it's not good. But I've actually really enjoyed watching it week to week.
Gives you a week to it gives you a week to talk
Yeah,
about things. It builds excitement and that, and then obviously once the
definitely.
series is out, you can binge through it.
Yeah,
And
yeah. So I'm really glad. Sort of, I have really. I didn't think I would. I didn't think I would enjoy the way they've released it, like week by week. But I have. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. So that's been like a learning curve for me. I can enjoy television that way as well.
yeah, it's been really good.
So yeah, it's been awesome. Brilliant. I think that brings us to the end of the episode. Obviously, trying to think. Is the next episode next Friday? Is it
next Friday? Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll probably have to come back and review that episode at some point. Although obviously, as we go into Christmas time and Rise of Skywalker time, it's probably going to be a lot harder to, even harder to record.
Yeah, definitely.
Things that aren't to do with that. But yeah, I would love to have you back on to talk about the next episodes that we watch.
Yeah, I'd be happy to come back on, mate. 100%.
Brilliant. Where can the listeners find you on social media?
I'm just on Twitter, Ian Paul K. That's my only thing I've got on social media.
Brilliant. And so I'm on social media on Twitter and Instagram at Pete Hitman Hart, named after Bret Hart, my favourite wrestler. The podcast now has its own Instagram channel at Star Wars Podcast. We also have an email address, starwarspodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to get in touch, ask us questions through there. Tell us what you love about Star Wars through there. We're on Twitter at BorsStar, so Star Wars reversed, at BorsStar on Twitter. Interact with us there as well. I said it's one of those things where like I started the podcast just because like I just have a passion for Star Wars and love talking about it. So I thought, why not? Like I'm quite a creative person, so I have like a creative outlet where I can talk about it while creating something as well. So that's the reason why I do the podcast, and I love it. But I think with what's coming, I think in the month of Rise of Skywalker and the Mandalorian going into next year, Clone Wars coming, all these books were being teased, all the new comics coming out. I think it's never been a better time to like be talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, I really enjoy talking about Star Wars. There's not many people in my work who like get Star Wars, so it's nice to come on here and talk about Star Wars with someone who's just as passionate about it as me.
No, definitely, yeah. And obviously, like you've had some great insights, so like I love having you on because you have like different insights to me. Like that Jurassic Park one is so obvious now I think about it, but again, I hadn't think on it. But it takes like talking to other people, interacting with other people, getting other people's point of views. Like is what helps. Like you see the wider picture, so it's awesome. So yeah, I think like for the listeners listening in, we're gonna have some giveaways coming in the new year. Some Black Series figures we're gonna give away. We're gonna give away some pin badges as well. So stay tuned for that. That's all coming in January. Thanks for joining us, Ian. It's been a pleasure having you on, and it'll be great to have you back down the line.
No problem, mate. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks for listening, guys, and may the Force be with you.